Everyone, let's start our topic now. Amit, Bhaskar, Leena, Amit. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, everyone? Let's start our topic now. So, guys, remember our previous discussion on NAT concept? Bhaskar, Leena, Amit. Our discussion on NAT topic.
Yes.
We have two type of NAT, right? We
Yes.
can we can go with source NAT. First option is what? Source NAT concept. And second, we can discuss it's called DNAT. It's called destination NAT. And to configure source and destination NAT, we have two configuration options. First, you can go with firewall policy NAT. So through firewall policy NAT, you can configure your source NAT, your destination NAT concept, or you can go with next option, next configuration option. It's called central NAT configuration. So I think this portion is clear. Source NAT and destination NAT configuration through firewall policy. I hope it's clear.
Yes.
Bhaskar, Amit, Leena,
Yes, sir.
Ahmed.
Yes.
So today we can focus on central NAT configuration. Why we are using central NAT. In central NAT, we can discuss again source NAT and destination NAT concept. So here we have a topology. Here we have a same topology. One firewall device, one FortiGate firewall device with WAN connectivity. This portion is what? WAN connection, port number one. This portion we are using as a LAN. So I'm trying to configure central NAT, but the point is why central NAT? Because we can use firewall policy NAT option for our translation, right? Why central NAT concept? So before configure central NAT concept, let's verify the basic stuff. So we have IP address on port number one, IP address on port number two. Let's verify. So IP address on port number one and IP address on port number two and default routing. Basic configuration is done. Now for central NAT, you can go with policy and object, and you can see, guys, by default, remember always, by default, central NAT concept or service, or you can say feature, is disabled by default. If it is enabled, so you can get a tab here. You can get a proper tab here. It's called central NAT. So by default, central NAT concept is disabled. Now, in case if you are trying to configure any policy this time, so you can click on create and you can define all the parameters. You can define all the parameters, your incoming, outgoing, source, destination, services, all the parameters you can define. If traffic is traveling, so yes, you can decide your NAT concept, right? You can decide your NAT concept. You can use outgoing interface option, or you can use dynamic IP and pool. Now, so this is the option in firewall policy NAT. Whenever you are creating a policy, in policy you can attach your NAT option. But now I want to configure central NAT concept. So to enable central NAT, by default this feature is disabled. To enable central NAT, you can go with system. You can click on feature visibility, and here you can enable. You can go with the graphical page. Wait, not here. You can click on setting. In system, you can click on setting, and here you can get an option central SNAT. Everyone, you can just enable this option and you can click on apply. So with graphical page, you can go with setting. You can go with system, click on setting, and here you can enable. Clear my point? Clear
Yes.
my point, everyone? Now through
Yes,
CLI
yes, sir.
option, what you can do? Through CLI, you can go with config system settings, set central NAT, and if you type question mark, everyone, you can get two options. You can go with enable or you can go with disable option. So I want to enable right now. You can press enter. Now you can save your configuration. Remember always, either you can use firewall policy NAT or you can use central NAT concept. You cannot use both options at the same time. No. Either you can use firewall policy NAT or you can go with central NAT concept. So once you enable central NAT concept, now you cannot configure firewall policy NAT. Let's verify. See, if you refresh this page, and if you go and check, if you go in policy and object, if you check here in policy and object, you can get your central NAT option. See, so this is called central source NAT. This concept is called what? Central source NAT. Source NAT. For central destination NAT, you can go with this option. So now everyone, you can see this option is changed now. If firewall policy NAT is enabled, so this tab is called virtual IP only, right? Remember?
Yes.
Amit, Bhaskar,
Yeah.
Reena. If firewall policy NAT, is enabled, so this tab is called only virtual IP. Once you enable central NAT, so this tab is called DNAT and virtual IP. Why it's called DNAT and virtual IP? I will tell you, okay? But this is what destination NAT tab. For destination NAT configuration, you can go with DNAT and virtual IP tab. For central source NAT, you can go with central SNAT. Now, this time, if I'm trying to create my firewall policy, this time, see, yes, I can define all the parameters into my firewall policy. I can define all the parameters, yes. After parameter, action is allowed. So now this time you can see there is no any NAT option. See, now there is no any NAT option for configuration. See, you are getting a message. Central NAT is enabled. So NAT setting from matching central NAT policy. So as per your policy configuration, as per your firewall policy configuration, your firewall will identify NAT. Okay, your incoming interface is port number 2, your outgoing interface is port number 1. Okay, this is your policy. Let me check any NAT configuration. In between this incoming interface and this outgoing interface, let me check NAT concept. So now your firewall will check NAT concept here. You can click on central SNAT and here you can create a rule. But the point is why we are using central NAT concept. Why we are using central NAT. So let's talk about a scenario. Why we need central NAT concept. Wait. So guys, remember our firewall policy configuration? Remember our firewall policy NAT configuration? Firewall policy NAT. So for example, if I'm creating a rule in between this incoming interface port number 2 and this outgoing interface port number 1, in case if I'm creating a rule. So in firewall policy, I can define my incoming interface, like incoming interface is port number 2, outgoing interface is port number 1, source, for example, 200.200.0/24. And now you can define your destination, or let's take a specific IP address. So 25/32/32. So for example, if I'm creating a rule, in rule, I can define my incoming interface, my outgoing interface, my source, and destination is any, for example. Then you can attach your services, your schedule time. After that, allow, and then you can attach your NAT option, right? Once you define all the parameters, you can attach your NAT option. Yes or no? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We can attach our NAT option. Now, for example, for NAT, I'm using outgoing interface concept, for example. Outgoing interface concept. So yes, I can define all the parameters. Then I can use NAT option. For translation, I'm using outgoing interface. Done. Let's create another rule. So in another rule, yes, I can define the parameters. Incoming interface port number 2, outgoing interface port number 1, source this time 200.200.200.4 45 to 200, 200, 255. For example, we have a range object. We have a range object. Now destination is any. I can define other parameter, then again outgoing interface. Outgoing interface. My point is, whenever you are creating a rule, whenever you are creating a firewall policy rule, every time you need to attach your translation information, right? If I'm creating, my point is, if I'm creating 200 policy, if I'm creating 500 policies, so every time I need to attach my translation information in every firewall policy. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
That is the issue. That is the issue. The point is, I need to attach NAT option in every firewall policy. That's why we are using Central NAT concept. In Central NAT, what you can do? Wait. In Central NAT, what you can do? You can configure NAT rule on a centralized location. Let me show you. If you check here Central NAT configuration, so if you click on create new, what you can do, define in Central NAT configuration, your incoming interface. You can define. So you can define your incoming interface. Then you can define your outgoing interface. Source address, destination address, and then you can decide your translation information. So for translation, remember outgoing interface concept, or you can go with dynamic IBN pool. You can use these options. So for example, I'm using dynamic outgoing interface. So here we have what? Outgoing interface concept. So for example, incoming interface is port number 2. As per our task. Outgoing interface is port number 1 as per our task. Now source, for example, in case if I'm using source any and destination any, and for translation, outgoing interface. So this single NAT policy rule, can handle multiple firewall policy. This 200, 200, 225, it's a part of any. This 200, 245 to 55, it's a part of any, right, everyone?
Yes.
Clear my point? So in between port number 2 and port number 1, if you are creating multiple firewall policy, you can create. Now this single central NAT rule, you can create a single central NAT rule on a central location. So this single central NAT rule can handle multiple firewall policy. Clear the concept?
Sir,
Yeah.
you mean that is a reduce the configuration?
Configuration option.
Okay.
Configuration. Amit, any question? Lina?
Sir, but if we have multiple network,
Multiple network.
then source IP will be
Different
different.
interfaces. You're talking about different interfaces.
Interfaces, then source IP will be different.
See, in case I told you in between, if you are configuring your firewall policy in between port number 2 and port number 1, so this policy, the single NAT policy, can handle all the options, all the policies. The single NAT rule can handle all the policy. But in case, for example, you are creating your next rule, for example, 301 rule. Into this rule, your incoming interface is port number 2, your outgoing interface is port number 3. So this time, for this policy, you need to create a separate NAT policy. This is first one. You need to create a separate NAT policy. Into this NAT policy, you can define your incoming interface is port number 2 and your outgoing interface is port number 3. Clear my point, Rina?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Clear हुआ
Yes,
आपको
sir.
ये?
Yes.
Okay. Bhaskar, any question? Amit, any question?
No, sir.
No.
I'm good.
Okay, so that's why we are using Central NAT. So remember always, either you can go with the Central NAT, or no problem, you can go with the firewall policy NAT. You can do all the configuration. The Central NAT is giving you option, you can configure your NAT rule on a centralized location. That is the point. And by default, this feature is not enabled. So you can enable. So this time, for example, see what is source NAT, what is destination NAT, concept is same. Okay, I'm not discussing again what is source NAT, what is destination NAT. Story is same. Okay, now we are trying to implement source NAT, destination NAT concept with central NAT concept. Source NAT and destination NAT we are trying to configure with central NAT concept. So you can see, for example, I'm creating a rule into the central SNAT, incoming interface, outgoing interface, source right now I'm using any, destination any, outgoing interface. You can click on it. So this single policy, now you are creating, my point is you are creating 500 firewall policy in between port number 2 and port number 1. Firewall policy. You are creating 500 firewall policy. So this 500 firewall policy can handle by the single central NAT rule, because it source is what? Any, destination is any. So I'm not trying to add NAT concept in every firewall policy separately. No. So you can use central NAT concept. So for example, if I'm trying to create firewall policy to allow my traffic, let's create, for example, rule is rule 1. Incoming interface, you can decide outgoing interface, source. You can create an object, no problem. Right now I'm using any, destination any, services any, and now you can click on okay. So you can define all the parameter into the policy. As per your policy, if traffic is trying to travel this time, as per your policy, if traffic is trying to travel in between port number 2 and port number 1, so your firewall will check. Okay, you have a firewall policy. Yes, you can go through the firewall box, but let me check. NAT rule in between port number 1 and in between port number 2 and port number 1. So firewall will check NAT rule information in central SNAT. If there is any NAT, so yes, you can translate your IP address. Clear my point? Amit, Bhaskar, Leena, Ahmed.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is called what? Central SNAT concept. In case if you want to configure central destination NAT, it's the same. See, let me check the traffic. Let's initiate some traffic here. So this configuration, it's related with source NAT, right? Because central SNAT, it's a source NAT concept. Outgoing interface, IP pool, dynamic IP pool, these options are related with source NAT concept. So we can initiate some traffic. We can verify this translation is working or not. So IP config, yes, we have an IP address 200, 200, 258. Let's try to verify our connectivity. So google.com, I'm trying to ping google.com and I'm getting reply. Let's try to access any other. So facebook.com, and traffic is traveling now. Let's try to access some website, something. Wait. Google.com and then facebook.com. It's working slow, but yes, we can access. My point is we need to verify our translation. So right now into this central SNAT configuration, we are working with outgoing interface concept. So traffic is traveling. Can anyone tell me what is the command to verify our session list? Can anyone help me? Can anyone help me? Everyone? What is the command? Ahmed, Amit. Okay, no problem. Get system session list. Right? Everyone?
Yes, yes.
Now you can see, guys, this 200, 200, 258 is trying to travel through the firewall box and is translated with 190. We are working with outgoing interface. Clear now? This concept. Any problem? Amit, Bhaskar, Leela, Ahmed?
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay. Now, same, we can configure central NAT concept, but here, see, there's a little change, okay, in central NAT configuration. There's a little change in destination NAT configuration in central NAT. Let me show you. See, for example, if you remember our firewall policy's destination NAT configuration. So what we can do, we can create our virtual IP for destination NAT configuration. We can create virtual IP object, and virtual IP address object we can attach with our firewall policy. Now we are talking about same central NAT, same destination NAT configuration in central NAT this time. So you can see this tab is called DNAT and virtual IP. Why it's called DNAT and virtual IP? Wait, see, let's create a virtual IP. So DNAT and virtual IP, let's create object. So name is what? DNAT-1. And now IP address. So I have a separate public IP 192.168. I'm not telling you what is central NAT. Sorry, I'm not telling you what is destination NAT. Remember destination NAT concept? What is DNAT concept, everyone?
So
Yeah.
DNAT, if I want to reach, for example, service from outside with a multiple map and public IP.
Can you repeat again, Amit? Amit, Bhaskar, Leena.
Actually, when outside traffic, or outside user is, wanted to get access to servers, then we can reach to that external IP that will be then NATed internally to that server IP.
We can NAT it, or you can say we can map.
Yeah.
DNAT is what? We can map multiple, in simple definition. You can map multiple servers, map, not translation. For translation, we are using what? We are using PAT option. PAT is what? In PAT, what we are doing? We are trying to translate multiple private IP address with single public IP. It's called PAT. What is DNAT? In DNAT, yes, we have a single public IP. But in DNAT, definition is we are trying to map multiple servers with single public IP. Clear?
Yes.
So as per our topology, we have a public IP address 192.168.1.135, I think. Let me check. 135, and this IP I'm trying to map with 58. So IP address 200, 58. Port forwarding concept you can use, for example, 8999 port number. I'm trying to map with 23. You can click on OK. So remember our destination NAT configuration in firewall policy, everyone. Remember our destination NAT configuration in firewall policy NAT. What we can do once you can create your object, and after that you can attach your object into your firewall policy, right?
Yes.
Everyone. So see, now I'm creating a rule. I am creating a rule. Traffic is coming from, see, this is what WAN to LAN. Just a name. Now this time traffic is coming from WAN side. Our outgoing interface is LAN. What about source? Source is source any. What about destination? Can anyone help me?
The object.
No. That is the difference. That is the difference. See, if you click, guys, if you click here in destination,
A virtual IP, sir, here.
see, you're not getting any virtual IP address object information here. Ahmed, see, DNAT object, it's not visible here. See, you cannot see object information. That is the difference. So in central NAT, for example, if you are configuring destination NAT configuration, okay, through central NAT, so you can define your source information, you can define your destination. For example, for destination, I can create an object because right now I'm trying to map with a specific IP. So I can create a specific IP address object. So you can attach, right now I'm using all, but you can create an object. You can attach services, you can attach, and now you can create a policy. So this is the policy. As per this policy, See, as per this policy, traffic is coming from outside. Wait, here we have a firewall device. This time, firewall device. So traffic is coming from outside, and here we have IP address 192.168.1.135. So this traffic is coming from outside. Traffic is coming from outside, and it's trying to hit onto this public IP address. Public IP address for port number 8999. So this public IP address is mapped with 200.200.200.200.58 IP address for port number 23, right? This is our configuration, everyone. Everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So here we have a rule for this traffic. Here we have a rule. So when traffic is going to hit onto the firewall device, firewall will check his firewall policy first. So as per firewall policy, yes, traffic is coming from outside, trying to go onto the LAN side. Perfect, no problem. Source is any, trying to access this particular destination. Okay, traffic is allowed, but let me check NAT information. Firewall will say, let me check NAT rule, because traffic is coming from outside. Whenever traffic is initiated from the outside, it's always destination NAT. Clear? Whenever traffic is initiated from the outside, it's always destination NAT. Clear my point?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Firewall, as per your traffic direction, your firewall can identify, okay, traffic is coming from WAN side. WAN side, okay. So let me check any NAT rule. So now it will go and check NAT rule in DNAT. So in DNAT, because same, see, in firewall policy, if you remember Central NAT, if you remember source NAT configuration here, so you can configure your firewall policy here. And now Central NAT rule we are configuring on a central location. Same option here. For destination NAT, yes, we can configure firewall policy to allow our traffic from WAN to LAN, no problem. But for NAT, again, we have a centralized option. So you can create your object on a centralized location. So if traffic is coming from port number 1, trying to go on port number 2, so your firewall will verify, okay, trying to hit on 135. Right. So your firewall will check. After firewall policy, your firewall will check. Okay, let me check a NAT rule. So yes, we have a DNAT rule. If traffic is coming from outside, we have a DNAT rule. Then it can do translation. So my point is, no need to attach this time in Central NAT, no need to attach your object information in firewall policy. Clear? That is the difference. Little difference, you can say.
Yes, yes.
Clear my point, everyone?
Yes, clear.
Yes, sir.
It's working. It's working. If you want to check here, for example, if you want to check in Fortinet, see, we have a DNAT rule, we have a firewall policy in case if you want to verify. So yes, this cloud is what? This cloud is my laptop. So I can initiate my traffic. Let me check first telnet service. Wait. Telnet service. Telnet service is started. Let's restart. So from outside, I can initiate my traffic. Telnet, wait, telnet 192.168.1.135. I can hit onto this public IP address, port number 8999. So from outside, I can hit, see, welcome to Microsoft Telnet service. Username is user1. If you remember, guys, user1, password 123. It's inside Telnet server. Clear now? It's working.
Yes, it's working, yes.
So this is what? This is called our NAT configuration. I hope this concept is clear. Firewall policy and NAT concept. Let me show you. So we are completed this topic. It's done now. NAT firewall policy, how to allow our traffic and how to do translation. I hope it's clear. Everyone?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes,
Say
yes.
we have multiple policies which have the incoming interface as a WAN, and say, the first policy say the destination is port number 1, then port number 3, then port number 4. So in that case, how firewall will
If you have
identify?
multiple firewall, your question is if you have a multiple firewall policy, Amit, right?
Yes. Multiple policies which have the incoming interface as a WAN, and say, the first policy say the destination is port number 1, then port number 3, then port number 4. So in that case, how firewall will
If you have
identify?
multiple firewall, your question is if you have a multiple firewall policy, Amit, right?
Yes.
Okay, wait. So if you have multiple firewall policy, for example, 100 firewall policy, right?
Correct.
So if what is your question now? If traffic is coming from outside, right?
Outside, yes.
See, sequence is same. Amit, if you remember firewall policy sequence is same. See, in firewall policy, we have a sequence. In NAT configuration, this time we have a sequence. See, if you create multiple rule here, so like firewall policy, it will match from top. Amit, like firewall policy sequence, it will match from top.
Yeah, it will match.
Clear now, Amit?
Okay, so this NAT role will be in use for all these
Yes.
100
See,
policies.
yes. See, for example, here we have a right now we have a centralized rule. So as per this centralized rule, for example, I'm talking about source NAT. So as per our centralized rule, if traffic is coming from traffic is coming from inside, trying to go onto the outside, so this single policy can handle. And this is what policy ID. It's a sequence. If you, for example, if you are creating a new central NAT rule, in between port number 2 and port number 3. Right now, I'm using any source, any destination, but maybe you are trying to specify specific source and specific destination, right?
For us, NAT is clear.
Yes. Clear now, Amit?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Lina, any question? Bhaskar, Ahmed, any question?
No, sir.
Now everyone, we can focus on next generation firewall features. So now we can focus on chapter number 5, 6, and 7. Like what is web filtering concept? What is application control? What is antivirus profile concept? So these topics, these are called next generation firewall feature. You can add one more information, no problem. We can add one more profile discussion. It's called file filter profile. So we'll discuss 4 next generation firewall features. These are called security profile. These are called what? Security profile. So why we are using security profile concept? Why we are using security profile concept? So for example, see, let's discuss a scenario. Why we are using security profile? So for example, here we have a firewall device, and this inside machine can go on outside, can access this outside server as per firewall policy configuration, as per firewall policy rule. Traffic is traveling from port number 2 to port number 1. No problem. Your firewall will check incoming interface, outgoing interface, source IP address information, destination IP address information, services, and then as per your configuration, traffic is allowed. Traffic is traveling. So this inside this 192.168.10.10 machine can access this 99.99.99.99. So connection is established and traffic is traveling. Now within a session, now this inside machine is trying to download a malicious information. For example, trying to download a file. And this file is infected with some malicious code, you can see, or if this file is infected with virus, with malware, with spyware. So only your firewall policy cannot detect. Amit, Askar, Lina, Ahmed. Everyone, only your firewall policy cannot detect this malicious information. That is the issue. So here we can use next generation firewall features, a common concept. If you go with PALO ALTO, if you go with Cisco, if you go with Cisco FTD, checkpoint firewall box, it's a common concept. You can create security profile, and these security profile you can attach with your firewall policy. So into this scenario, what I can do, I can create antivirus profile. Right now, I'm giving you the basic idea. Okay, we'll discuss in detail. So antivirus profile I can create. Antivirus profile can detect virus behalf of antivirus signature database. How to download latest signature database, what licenses, what type of licenses are required, I will tell you. But let's complete this basic idea. So into this scenario, as per our discussion, what I can do, I can create antivirus profile. I can create antivirus profile, and this antivirus profile I can attach with firewall policy. I can attach with firewall policy. So this time, if this inside machine is trying to download any malicious information, your firewall can detect within a live session. Within a live session, your firewall can detect malicious information and can take action. Like for example, based on your antivirus profile configuration, you want to block malicious information. So your firewall, your antivirus profile will detect malicious, will detect virus behalf of antivirus signature database and can take action. So within a live session, it can detect and it can block. Clear my point?
So without security profile, firewall cannot detect the virus.
Yes.
Okay.
Without antivirus profile, or Ahmed, or you can say without security profile, your firewall is only port-based firewall. Your firewall is called port-based firewall. For example, Cisco ASA. Cisco ASA is what? It's a port-based firewall. Clear, Ahmed?
You mean second generation? Hello?
Yes, second generation, you can say.
Okay.
Okay, ASA will work with layer 3 and layer 4 information. Layer 3 is what? IP address. Layer 4 is what? Service or protocol. Clear my point?
Yes.
So antivirus profile we can create, or in case if you want to use any other security profile option, for example, application control concept. It's called app ID, application identification in Palo Alto. In Fortinet, you can say application control. So Fortinet, it's a next generation firewall, so it can detect application behalf of application signature database. Your firewall can detect application within a live session. It can detect application, for example, Facebook application, YouTube application, Google application. So in case if you want to block, monitor, or allow any specific application, for example, in my organization, I don't want to allow Facebook application. No one can access. I don't want to allow YouTube application. No one can access. So yes, you can block with app ID, with application control concept. Either you can work with specific application, or in case if you want to block complete category, for example, I want to block complete social networking category website. I want to block all uh, mail category application. I want to block all gaming category application. I don't know which application is a part of gaming category. I don't know, but I want to block all gaming category application in my organization. So I can go with app ID concept. Clear? Oscar, Lena, Amit,
Yes.
Ahmed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
In case if you want to block any specific URL, see, app ID is what? With app ID, your firewall can detect application only. But now, for example, in my organization, I want to block this specific URL. I don't know anything about this URL, but I want to block. So to block this URL, this specific URL, you can go with, web filtering concept. Web filtering. For example, I want to block any specific URL, any malicious URL, or in case if I want to block complete URL category. because every website it's a part of category, right? So for example, I want to block all political organizations website. I want to block all entertainment category website. I want to block all sports category website. Yes, I can do this with web filtering concept. Next profile, it's called file filter profile. What is file filter profile? For example, in my organization, I want to work with file type, or I want to work with file extension. In my organization, I don't want to allow exe file, for example, or PDF file, or docs file. So no one can upload, no one can download these file type. I want to work with file extension. No one can upload PDF file. For example, I have a PDF file I want to send to my friend, so I'm trying to attach an email. I cannot send. So if you want to work with file type, you can go with file filter. So these are called security profile concept. And remember always, if traffic is traveling through the firewall box, then you can attach, then you can utilize your security profile. See, if you go and check, if you go and check your firewall policy, for example, I'm creating a rule to allow some traffic. So I can define all the parameters. I can define all the parameters, and now traffic is traveling. If traffic is traveling through the firewall box, then you can utilize your security profile. Then you can attach your security profile. If traffic is denied, for example, if traffic is denied, see, now you cannot add or you cannot utilize your security profile. You have a security profile, but you cannot utilize. So if traffic is traveling through the firewall box, you can add, you can utilize. Clear my point? So these are what security profile. Can we start our discussion with application control first? Everyone, can we
Okay, no
start
problem.
discussion with
No.
application control profile? Amit, Bhaskar, Leena,
No
Emma.
problem.
No problem, sir.
Okay,
No problem.
before utilize this security profile, remember always you need to buy license. For example, I'm working in an organization, so I want to verify license information. License is available or not. So you can click on system. This is company firewall device, for example, and I want to verify license is available or not. So you can click on system. You can click on FortiGuard. You can click on FortiGuard. Right now we are working in a testing scenario, so we don't have license, but we can perform all the lab, but with limited resources, right? In real scenario, you need to buy license. You need to purchase license. For example, you can buy intrusion prevention license. You can buy purchase antivirus license. You can go with web filtering license. Right now we are getting license information. So status is what? Not supported, not supported, not supported. So if you don't have license, you cannot download. My point is what? If you don't have license, you cannot download latest information. No, you cannot download latest information. For example, I want to download latest antivirus signature. I want to download latest application signature. No, I want to download latest URL information, URL category information. No, that is the issue. If license is expired, if license is not available, you cannot download latest information from FortiGuard server. So once you install your license, so you can get a information here, date issued, date expired information, when this license will expire, when you install. Once you install your license, what you can do, you can wait. You can go with FortiGuard updates. If you have a proper license in your organization, if everything is okay, for example, you have 3-year license, 1-year license, if it is installed, so you can go with FortiGuard updates. And in FortiGuard update, you can see scheduled update. So I want to download latest signatures every 2 hours, after every 2 hours. Or you can go with daily option. I want to download latest signature update every day, 1 a.m. morning. Weekly, I want to download on Monday, 1 p.m. So you can set a time. You can set a scheduled time to download your latest signatures. Clear now my point? Everyone?
Yes. See, it will happen automatically.
Yes. You can set a schedule time. Yes.
Yes.
Amit, any question? Bhaskar? Bhaskar,
No,
any
sir.
question?
No, sir.
Now, if you have a proper license, for example, if you have a proper license in your device, in your company, in your organization, so the good thing is what you can download latest signature. Why latest signature is required? Because I want to detect latest attack, latest application, latest virus. Okay, so let's start our discussion with first profile option. So I told you, you can configure your firewall policy. In firewall policy, if traffic is traveling, you can attach your security profile. This is the option. For example, you can enable, you can attach your security profile. Otherwise, you can see here we have a dedicated tab. It's called security profile, dedicated tab. In this dedicated tab, you can work with antivirus, web filtering, application control, file filter. Let's start our discussion with application control today. Okay, everyone, can we take a break for 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure, sir.
5 minute break, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Please turn off your mic.